Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to our last week here, week 7. Before I dive too much into the conversation today, like I have been doing for the past couple of times, let me go ahead and start a live stream here. We're going to do the same thing that we've been doing before, the You Show. Come and take a 20-minute walk with me. Come and take a 20-minute walk with me. Going live. Let's see, something went wrong. And we are live. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. All right, so I'm gonna get things off on the right foot here. No pun intended. So for anyone that's watching, I am currently documenting my journey to a 10K. And right now, this is the beginning of day 1, week 7. Rather, week 7, day 1. I think that's probably a better way of saying it. Today we're starting off this week with a 20-minute walk. Nothing too crazy. Ever since, I believe, my 4th or 5th week, I have been mainly doing 20-minute walks to begin with. When I first started, I was alternating between 10 to 20 minutes, but then we sort of stabilized at 20, and that's the least amount of time that we had spent walking since that week. So I'm really excited because this week marks the ending of my warm-up series that I've been doing to get myself to do a 10K. So that's really exciting news. I started this 6 weeks ago, and honestly, I just can't believe that I've made it this far. Now, you might think, oh, you know, walking, not really that big of a deal. For me, it's a big deal because I'm the sort of person that sometimes I get really excited about doing something and then I'll just kind of stop doing it. I'll think about all the pros that come from doing something. And like I said, I'll get really into it. I'll do a lot of research on it. I might even buy some things to help me get to that end goal, but then I'll just sort of go out, sizzle out. The fire will dwindle and it will sizzle. But for these walking videos that I've been doing, it's been a lot of fun, mostly because I make the videos. I think the videos really help me out with this. So like I said, it's been a lot of fun making these, and hopefully in a couple of months time I'll be able to document myself doing a 10K. So I'm following an article that's called, well, it's an article from a website called Runner's World. They published this whole sort of guide. It's like a couch to a 5K sort of deal, and from there you can actually get to do the 10K if you just follow their workouts exactly. So that's sort of what I've been doing for myself. I like it because I think especially with like a walking routine, or really like anything that you're doing, you need to start small. It's, you know, running, fitness, any other thing that you're interested in is most of the time a marathon and not a sprint. Like anything that's worth doing, you have to spend time really building up a foundation before you go all in. So that's what I've been deciding to do with these walks. The slower I do, the slower I go, the more I build up, the more time I take, the less prone I am to injury, so on and so forth. So I'm hoping that anyone watching this video will come out. I know we're all probably working from home, you know, just come out, take a break, do this 20-minute walk with me. It's not too crazy. By the end of this week, I'll be sort of graduating, as I say. I'll be graduating by doing a 1 hour fairly brisk walk, and that's in contrast to in the beginning when I started. I think I ended my first week with like 25 minutes, so definitely made some progress there. I'm really excited about that progress, and of course just hoping to continue on from here. So for anyone that's watching, might be wondering why I'm also with a GoPro on my head. Well, the reason that I have a GoPro on my head is because I also archive these videos for myself on my YouTube channel, and that way I can just look and see the progress that I've made, so on and so forth. The reason I go on Reddit Live is because it just makes it easier for me to hopefully engage with some of you folks out there who might be doing the same thing, or just, you know, listening to me do my workout just for some fun. Sort of think of it like an active podcast, if you will. just checking the traffic around me to make sure no one hits me or I run into anyone. So anyway, how is everyone doing on this Monday? It's the second working week of the year. Hopefully everyone's first week went well. I know a lot of us are just coming back from holidays, so sometimes it's a little bit hard to start getting into the groove of things again, but that's expected. And hopefully in your company or your line of work, you had a nice, easy sort of route back into that groove that you probably were in right before you left for your holidays. Work is going pretty good now. Can't complain. I mean, everything's going well. Luckily, like I said, we did have that plan coming back. Nothing like too crazy on the way back, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, so how I want to ask the audience, whoever's watching, I think we have, it shows 10 people now. I don't really know how accurate that is. There's probably some latency with what I see and how many people are actually watching at any time, like the instantaneous snapshot. So how's everyone doing on this Monday? What are you all up to? Are you all on your breaks? Are you all maybe just listening on another tab at work? I know some people, including myself, I've done that before, of course. You got Reddit open on another tab, and that's fine, I think, as long as you just know how to manage yourself. If your company has that sort of culture, then that's cool, you know? Anything that anyone is looking forward to in particular for this week? We have a long weekend coming up, so some companies may honor Martin Luther King Day next Monday, the 18th. My company does, so I'll be looking forward to this 3-day weekend coming up. It's always nice. I mean, just finished a holiday, going right into another one, so that should be cool. No plans specifically yet. You know, I might go out to a place that's not too crowded to get some dinner. But what am I doing? I'm already thinking of the weekend when it's just Monday. This weekend went by pretty well. I did a walk 2 days ago at a state park close to me. And I like that because what I tend to do is on weekends, on weekdays, I'll do my walk around the suburbs. And on weekends, since I have more time and a little bit more freedom, I'm able to sort of go out a little more and go to different places, which is what I'm planning on doing. Luckily, I can just do a search, you know, best walking trails near me. I'll just see whatever's out there and just go for it. And that's been pretty fun so far. Not only do the people that watch seem to like it, but I also like it because it just breaks up the scenery. Hopefully get to meet some people along the way and things like that. And I also would probably go to places that I've never been to before. So I think that's also a plus. Now, I've only been doing those in, I don't know, let's say tops like a 10-mile radius. I'd like to venture out more and eventually get to doing it in further places. So for example, let's say when everything goes back to normal, maybe I'd consider doing a vacation far, but still making these same videos. So really just depends on where I'm at, how I'm feeling that day. I need to get at least 4 of these in a week to be able to accomplish my fitness goals. So it is what it is. What I'm excited about is, as I already mentioned, this is my 7th week. So this is going to wrap up the first week, or rather the first leg of the complete 10K series that this website published. And so after this, I'm going to be getting into some alternating walking and running. That's going to be really fun because jogging is still pretty difficult for me. Despite doing strength training, it doesn't really impact my cardio at all. But now that I've been doing this for the 7 weeks, I'm a little more able. You know, sometimes if I have leftover time or I'm just feeling up to challenge myself, even before the next part of the series starts, I might go ahead and do like a minute or 2 jog. And that's been pretty good so far. Like, I've been able to actually complete it, which for me is a huge milestone. Once the 8th week starts, I'll have to figure out a way of making the videos because it's going to be really hard for me to talk and jog at the same time. So gonna have to see what's up with that. Something else that will change is the first 2 weeks. So I guess week 8 and 9, we are still gonna be walking in case any of you all join me for these walks. But we'll also start incorporating some cross training. So maybe some days I'll be riding my bike, maybe doing yoga or strength training, really anything that's not walking, just so we kind of round things out. But then on the, let's think, on the 10th week is when we start doing that alternating walking and jogging. It's something like, let's say the duration of the workout's half an hour, you know, first 5 minutes you're walking, and then after that you do, I guess, jog for a minute, walk for 2, something like that. You can imagine that sort of cadence that we take from then on. And I think it's really good because I'll do those 7 weeks, and then I think after that I do another 7 weeks. It's a little more endurance based, and at the end of these next 14 weeks I'll be able to compete, not really compete, but participate, I think is the better word, participate in my first 5K. Haven't done a 5K in a very long time. That's going to be a huge milestone for me, so definitely looking forward to that. Has anyone in the chat, has anyone watching done a 5K? Any avid runners out there? Any tips that you all can give me to help me accomplish my goals here? Running, again, is something I've always wanted to be decent at. Not like a pro, obviously not a pro, but I just want to be able to run and run well. I just want to be able to train for that. So any tips that anyone can give me? Yeah, me in my sleep. So when you say that, there's a specific dream that comes to mind. A good tip is run fast. Yeah, you know, it's like those nightmares when you're always trying to run away from the bad guy, and you either cannot run or you're just running too slowly. So do you mean something like that when you say in your sleep? By the way, that comes from accomplished_way_612. Thanks for joining on the chat. It's always fun to talk to people. Ooh, 15 plus minutes given. Oh, this is phenomenal. Someone gave me an extra 15 minutes. We can't hear you. Really? You can't hear me. That's not good. You covered the mic. How about now? Was it that it was just like muffled, or? Yeah, unfortunately, normally when I do these Reddit live streams, I bring out my AirPods. I honestly just forgot today. Got too far from where I started to be able to go back, and I want to still catch the day when there's a little bit of sun out. So good now. All right, thanks a lot. Really appreciate the prompt feedback there. This is why I like engaging with you all. Helps me out a lot, and if it wasn't for accomplished way 612, I would have continued to talk and no one could hear me. I'm gonna wait for this truck to go by. All right, real sorry about that. So let's see, Garlic Knots for Life gave hugs back to you, Garlic Knots for Life. And if it wasn't COVID, well, if it wasn't COVID and I knew you personally, I'd go and give you an actual hug. But anyway, virtual hugs are good too. Garlic Knots for Life, for some reason, remind me of Tim Dillon. The comedian Tim Dillon, if any of you all know him. Funny guy. You know, he has interesting things to talk about. And I know some people probably don't like what he has to say, but hey, objectively, I think we can all, well, I'm not gonna say all, but some of us might agree that he's a funny guy. But I feel like garlic knots are something that he's talked about semi-regularly on his show. So that's what that username reminds me of. Looks like I have a couple of downvotes. I'm guessing maybe the downvotes are because people were unable to hear me. Now I know better. I got the feedback, so that's good. But I'm curious, you know, what can I do to make these sort of streams better? Really, my intent is just to motivate some people out there to come out and take a walk, whether it be consistently, and if they're on their own path for their own fitness journey, or if it's just something fun to listen to. That's really all I'm trying to do here. So join me if you want. If not, just listen from the comfort of your bed or your desk, or I guess really anywhere that you have access to Reddit. It's a really nice day here in South Florida. The weather is good for South Florida, all intents and purposes. It's a little bit overcast, but as long as it's not really hot and humid, I would consider it good. And even for myself, I'm still wearing a sweater, even though it's probably in the mid 70s, I would say. That's just how Floridians roll. So, you know, it is what it is. I've been doing this for about a week now, the whole live stream thing. Before that, I was doing live streams with the camera facing away from me and not at my face. So Reddit would keep the stream probably on my profile for an hour, and then they would remove it because the show is called The You Show, and they say, well, you have to actually film your face. So this is the first time in my life, mind you, I'm 27 years old. This is the first time, literally within this past couple of weeks, that I've ever done something like this, where I'm just here filming my face while I'm talking. It is a little bit strange, but it's just something new to try out, and frankly, it's pretty exciting. So that's the fun part. Since I've never done something like this before, you kind of have to get out of your comfort zone. And trust me, people around the neighborhood oftentimes do look at me. Again, you know, you're talking to yourself on a phone, you got the camera on your head. I probably look like a weirdo or something. But, you know, that's really not my intent, so I don't really care what they think, because that's not, I'm just walking. That's all I'm doing. Anyway, so we had a little bit of some traction there with some of the conversation. What is everyone else up to? Anyone else here a gamer? I haven't talked about gaming in a while, but I get some news every once in a while about Cyberpunk. I haven't played Cyberpunk in like over a week. I haven't played, but it's like really getting worse. I thought it would get better, but every time I see headlines about the game, it just looks like it's getting worse. It's incredible. Like, I really hope, I don't think anything's gonna happen to CD Projekt Red, but man, what a terrible launch Cyberpunk experienced. That is really, really saddening, and I'm sure those people worked really, really hard to deliver, you know, the game they delivered. Although it still probably does have its quirks and whatnot. They're still working really hard to deliver it. So I'm just curious to know, is anyone still currently playing it? Is it as bad as it was when it came out? I started playing Fallout New Vegas. That's like my go-to game. I got back into it again, and I haven't looked back since. Probably almost gonna finish it, but how's Cyberpunk going? Just looking around here, make sure there's no cars. 44 minutes, so I guess, let's see, I don't know at what time I was before I was given the 15 minutes, but I'm gonna continue over here on this walk. I think, let's say that I've been maybe going for 10 minutes. I'm gonna just guess 10 minutes. I don't really have any other marker to go by. If I am planning to do a 10-minute walk, I'm gonna let the stream go until about the 35-minute mark. I could go the whole 45 minutes, but the video that I'm recording on my GoPro needs to go for the 20 minutes so that anyone that watches could just watch the video, and that's essentially the workout for the day. It's always fun to wave hi to some of the neighbors here. It's a very quiet afternoon here in South Florida in the suburbs. You have kids playing around. It almost reminds me of that movie, or that show. I'm trying to think of what it's called. Wonder, I think it's called Wonder or something. Wonder, maybe not. I might be butchering that name completely. But it's a very good show. Sort of about, I don't know what era, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. I mean, that's 40 years I just went by. It's one of those eras where everything's just like perfect. You got the whole suburbs feeling, you got the friends living next door, everyone's just together all the time. I'm sure someone in the chat knows the show I'm talking about. I just can't remember it, unfortunately. But that's how it feels right now. And I don't think that's something you normally get in Florida. That's something that I feel you probably get in some of the more northern states. Or maybe I'm just not looking in the right places in Florida. Probably South Florida is not a good place to get that sort of feeling. So like I said, at the end of this week, I'm gonna be finishing off with an hour walk, which I'll be also streaming. The really cool thing is, you know, I got hugs this time, which I know probably can't be too happy about that. I mean, it's a reward and it's awesome, but I know there are streamers out there that have thousands and thousands of views, and I'm just a guy out here walking. But it's cool that I'm actually seeing progress with the videos. You know, the fact that I even am getting more airtime during these walks, at least to me, signals that someone is enjoying it. So that makes me happy, and as long as it makes you all happy, I'm gonna keep doing these videos. Now, maybe I should also backtrack and say that I'm gonna work out nonetheless. I'm gonna do my walk no matter what. Again, I just make these videos because it gives me something to talk about. When I was starting out, before the Reddit streams, I would come up with things to talk about, like a scripted walk. And it was fun, and I did have things to talk about. But you can imagine, and I've said this in other videos, that if you're just talking to yourself, I don't have a guest here with me, so I kind of rely on the Reddit audience to be my guest. But if you're just talking about things for, I don't know, 40 minutes for 4 times in the week, that's 160 minutes. It's not easy. Oh, here we go. So J Mejia 88, I've been walking daily and am loving it. That is amazing. That's super cool. See, I only do 4 times a week, so daily you're already killing it. You've already surpassed me by this point probably. What is, I mean, tell us, let's talk about it. So when did you start walking daily? Is it something that you've been doing for a long time? Is it something that you started now during COVID and being quarantined? Or are you, are you already an athletic person and you're just doing your daily exercise like you always do? I'd love to hear more about it, and I'd love to talk about it here with everyone else. Ragnar the Whore says, where are you from? I am from South Florida. That's where I'm filming. I could turn the camera here so you all can see my view. Just a very typical South Florida suburb. Nothing crazy, just good times. But of course, it's the you show. Reddit says I have to show my face, at least for the majority of the time. So that's where I'm filming today. And it's where I have been filming for the last 7 weeks, or 6 weeks rather. This is the beginning of the 7 week, but yeah. I tend to go out maybe 10-mile radius if I'm gonna be shooting in any other place, but this is the main place. Hoping to do some places more north once everything goes back to normal, but of course we'll see, and only time will tell. So anyone on the chat also interested in fitness in general? Does anyone do any sort of strength training? I also do strength training, and I change my plans all the time. Some days or some weeks I do like a 3-day or 4-day split, or maybe I'll just focus on full body workouts for that week. I'm not trying to be a bodybuilder. I just want to be healthy. And I think if you just work out a little bit, like if you go to the gym 3 times a week, I think already that's probably enough to just be like fit and healthy. You don't need to be extremely strong. As far as like the return you get from working out and the extension of your life and being able to sort of live your best life, I don't think you need to go crazy in the gym. Maybe you do. Maybe you need to be massive to really reap the benefits. So I think I've almost been walking for 20 minutes. I really wish I had a better timestamp. Again, I forgot the time that I had before the 15-minute award, which again, thank you very much. I really do appreciate that. So I think probably in 3 minutes I'll cut the stream. What I'm gonna do is, if people are enjoying this, and again, whether or not people are watching, I do plan on coming again tomorrow, Thursday, and Saturday. Those are my 4 days of the week where I do my streams. So yeah, just if you're scrolling on any of those days on RPAN, on the U show, you might see me. And I hope that you can join in for one of my walks. I think the next one is gonna be a 45-minute walk tomorrow. I'm guessing Thursday might be 55 minutes, and Saturday for the final walk will be a complete hour, which is gonna be amazing. And I hope that I can have some people to talk to about it and join me. We did a, 55-minute walk on Saturday, so I've pretty much already did an hour walk. I've done an hour walk, so I know I'm gonna be able to do it. But I'm excited because I get to essentially cross it off the list of my things to do. It's been a good walk today. I like doing these smaller walks because you're just kind of getting out of the weekend, and I think they did it all like that on purpose. You're just coming out of the weekend. Maybe you're not looking to doing a 1-hour walk on a Monday, so they start you off at 20 to get yourself back in the groove, so that by the end of the week you're just like really in there, Oh, 5 upvotes. Just got a notification for 5 upvotes. Thank you all so much for the upvotes. I really appreciate it. After this, I'm gonna be going back home, and I'm actually going to be entering another line of work that I do as a tutor for web development. So I'm looking forward to that. My students today are starting with some new paradigms, I suppose, dealing with adaptive and responsive designs and sort of understanding what design spec sheets look like and working on a new project. So I'm very excited to go into that with them and teach them to the best of my ability so that they can enter the workforce ready as competent web developers. And yes, I am a software engineer. That's my career. That's what I do Monday through Friday, pretty much all the time. I'm probably looking at code at least once a day. So I figured, why not also teach it since I'm having so much fun with it? That's what I'll be doing on the way back now, and it should be a good time. My students are actually great. They're a great group of kids, and I mean, I can't speak for every other cohort that there is, and I'm certain that all the tutors feel like their students are the best. Yeah, Isabel Bonilla, that, hey mom. That is my mom right there. Amazing. That's the first time I've ever had my mom watch me on a live stream. That's very cool. What a time to be alive, everyone. You can watch your mom comment on your live stream. Well, I'm gonna be finishing up here in the next couple of minutes. Probably, actually, I probably should finish in the next couple of seconds. I'm really hoping I hit that 20-minute mark. And if I already have hit that 20-minute mark, I wanna make sure that I don't go too far over that so that people watching these videos can use my video as a timestamp of how much they wish to accomplish. So guys, thank you all so much for joining me on today's walk. Really appreciate everyone's time. Hoping that you all gained some valuable fitness time from this. I'll be coming back here tomorrow for, I believe, is going to be a 40 or 45-minute walk, so stay tuned if you want to see more. And of course, you can join me, and I'm looking forward to speaking to you all. So take it easy, everyone. Stay fit and stay healthy, and we will see you all next time for a at least 40-minute walk. Take it easy. All right, so just finished the Reddit live stream. Let's see how much I've been doing on the GoPro. We are at 27 minutes, so we are way over our 20-minute walk. I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream here, but again, the same thing that I said to the people on Reddit. I'm so glad that you all were able to join today's walk. Again, we are at the last week. A couple more days for us to start our cross-training / walking and jogging routines. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see you all there. As I always say, stay fit and stay healthy, and I'll see you all very soon for our next walk.